tomorrow, Saturday, the 14th, there's a couple of things happening. 250 years ago, tomorrow, the 14th, the Continental Army was established as a way of fighting back against the British. The military had decided about as late as like a year ago that they were going to have a small commemorative celebration. Donald Trump became president. His birthday, I think, is the 14th. Is it the same day? And has decided that he's going to celebrate. He's going to finally have his big parade. He wanted to do this in the last term. And basically, he was convinced by Esper and others that like the tanks are going to tear up Washington streets. Well, you've seen the footage of all the tanks that coming from Texas to Washington, D.C. And Donald Trump is intending to have a massive military parade tomorrow on Saturday to celebrate his birthday. This is clip number 6. Donald Trump announced this a couple of days ago and made it clear he doesn't want any protests there because it's his birthday. And there are protests planned for that day. You can go to nokings.org. But here is, let's first play this clip. Do we have it?
Any message to adversaries as the Army kicks off 250-year birthday celebration?
I just think it's amazing. We're going to have a fantastic June 14th parade, Flag Day. It's going to be an amazing day. We have tanks, we have planes, we have all sorts of things, and I think it's going to be great. We're going to celebrate our country for a change. You know, recently, as you know, with World War II, the victory of World War II, I called up France, and they were celebrating the victory. Well, we helped them a lot, as you know. I don't have to get into that. But I called up other countries. They're all celebrating the victory.
To be clear,
we're the only...
There's a good reason why you might celebrate a victory when you're in France, because they were occupied. They were literally occupied. They were, in Britain, they were bombed repeatedly. Europe, the entire population lived the war.
Whole cities just destroyed.
So the implications of it may be a little bit different. And of course, this is celebrating the Continental Army from 250 years ago. I don't know why he's bringing up World War II.
The British are coming.
They get big parades. Good.
Get into that. But I called up other countries. They're all celebrating the victory. We're the only country that didn't celebrate the victory. And we're the one that won the war. Okay, if it wasn't for us, that war, you would be speaking German right now, okay? We won the war.
Or Russian.
And you might be speaking Japanese, too. I mean, you might be speaking a combination of both. We won the war, and we're the only country that didn't celebrate it. And we're going to be celebrating big on Saturday. We're going to have a lot of, and if there's any protest that wants to come out, they will be met with very big force. By the way, for those people that want to protest, they're going to be met with very big force. And I haven't even heard about a protest, but, you know, this is people that hate our country, but they will be met with very heavy force.
I haven't even heard about this nokings.org protest that's happening all around the country. I haven't even heard about it.
I'm worried about some I never even heard about before.
It's just his birthday thing, and he doesn't want it ruined. Go out and protest, meet people, develop networks. And embarrass Donald Trump. Meanwhile, somebody at a press conference with what's-her-face, Caroline Leavitt, asks a question like, hey, is this a little problematic? Like, why are you already planning to meet with big force protesters? Like, people protest. People protest. People protested at like the Bush inauguration parade. That's what was one of the. In fact, one of the big deals about the Continental Army was they were fighting ultimately for a constitution in this country, which allows freedom of speech
Against despotism.
and says there's no king. Here's how that question was answered.
And then on the domestic side, you were just asked about the First Amendment rights issues. In the president's comments yesterday, though, he just said protesters would be strongly dealt with. In your list before, you referred to insurrectionists, rioters, and protesters together. Obviously, they're quite different from your earlier answer. I'm struck by the fact that the president has not at any point said the most important thing here is to protect the First Amendment rights of peaceful protesters. So I'm wondering, where in his hierarchy of interests does he place that? Is the First Amendment protection the most important? Is stopping violence most important? Why is he not out saying all peaceful protesters will be protected?
I think two things can be important at the same time. And the president, as I just answered, supports the right of Americans to peacefully protest. He supports the First Amendment. But that is not the majority of the behavior that we have seen taking place in Los Angeles. We have seen mobs of violent rioters and agitators assaulting law enforcement officers, assaulting our federal immigration authorities. And we have seen, as I said, this goes back to what this administration is trying to do and accomplish, and that's enforcing law and order in our nation's communities. And it's removing public safety threats from communities in Los Angeles.
You're saying the majority have not been peaceful, the majority have been violent.
I just read for you the arrest numbers. We've arrested nearly 400 illegal aliens alone, just illegal aliens who have been arrested in these riots since June 6th, since they began.
Thousands of people on the streets.
Yeah, and we've had hundreds of people who have assaulted law enforcement officers. Are you saying that that's not that's
I pause it here.
behavior?
First off, I seriously doubt there was 400 undocumented immigrants arrested in these protests. But here's the clip that I thought we were going to play here too. This is how Levitt responded to a reporter following up on that initially. It's interesting. I noticed like the way that she responds to one question versus the other.
The president warned that any protests on Saturday would be met with force. Can you clarify what kind of protest President Trump does support or find acceptable?
The president absolutely supports peaceful protests. He supports the First Amendment. He supports the right of Americans to make their voices heard. He does not support violence of any kind. He does not support assaulting law enforcement officers who are simply trying to do their job. It's very clear for the president what he supports and what he does not. Unfortunately for Democrats, that line has not been made clear, and they've allowed this unrest and this violence to continue, and the president has had to step in.
So if there were peaceful protests on Saturday for the military parade, President Trump would allow that?
Of course the president supports peaceful protests. What a stupid question.
Maybe it was a function of him saying if there's protests. I mean, this is all part of a whole. This is all part of a whole, folks.
It's lying for a reason. It's not just lying because the truth is something they don't care about. They're grasping power.
And I'll tell you, here's the thing, is that if, going back to that guy who's the roofer in Key West, if he didn't know, if, Latinas for Trump didn't know that Donald Trump was actually going to deport and break up families and make it impossible for people to even follow the rules. When she goes out there and says, of course, it is an example of how them lying actually helps.
Cement the coalition?
Cement their coalition.
Yeah.
Because remember, that's a perfect example of how their lies have worked in the past. Had they come out and said, we're going to deport everybody and anybody, not just criminals, and had they come out and said that more explicitly and made that the only thing they said, You may not have people who are surprised at what Trump is doing. So, like, she can be there and lie, and we know, like, wait a second, he's already said something. It's not a stupid question. But it helps cement their constituency. So, I don't know. We're getting into, red alert territory if we weren't already there. It is, well, let me put it this way. We've been there for immigrants in this country. We've been there for trans people and other marginalized people. And now it's just like sort of seeping out. Pay attention. Tell people to pay attention. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.